Out in the street, sometimes people laugh at me and sometimes they walk towards me telling their girlfriend that they're going to smack the next cunt they see as they look me in the eye, and I say, "Hey mate," and he shoulders into me, nearly knocking me off my feet, but it wasn't a crack in the face, so I toddled on into the night. They all laugh though as they point out my imperfections and my impaired vision or the way I walk. If you think my walk is funny, you should see the way I run. And if you get a kick out of that, you should hear the way your mother howls my name. I think these things as they laugh to themselves are even allowed at my expense, but I keep walking into the sunset because I know that the way they laugh at me to my face is only a small fraction of the abuse I'll get when I get home and look at myself in the mirror, practicing my expressions for situations I know will never arise. We got drunk at 5 PM like we tend to do in this city, and we drew and drew and drew lots of pictures of nothing in particular, but mostly faces. And when we were done, we walked home in the cool air, and I liked the way it felt on my shaved head, but I put a hat on anyway. And we had some food and a few laughs, and when I got home, I sobered up by midnight and stayed up all night trying to write this poem about you. Cheers. So we're at this bar that usually we wouldn't even bother with, where one time I saw a good punk band, but no one was really that into it, so it ended on a bum note. But we're there, and it's got an upstairs and it's got a downstairs, and in the downstairs there's a load of people around my age dancing the night away, while simply pretending to have fun, just like I was really. But everyone loved it in the downstairs, but I was happy to sit in the upstairs around the table talking to whoever was taking a break. But when they left me to continue dancing, I'd look outside out of this massive wall-sized window to the street where people smoked their cigarettes, and I'd watch them like you'd watch an animal at a zoo with quiet astonishment, and everyone came and went in their t-shirts or their tiny dresses and stood in the cold, and they panicked over papers and filters or other things they did not have but needed to borrow, much in the same as my need for conversation, of physical expression. Eventually, George told me he was leaving because he was tired, so I finished my drink in one hit, and we walked out into the night. I'd be compelled to tell you that I woke up in a cold sweat, but it was so hot underneath my sheets when I woke up that I ripped off my t-shirt and all my other clothes that I didn't have the energy to take off before I hit the hay. I've been dreaming about you again, but I'm promised to another, and no matter how hard I focus on my dreaming priorities, I always come back to those quiet moments where I kiss your neck, and we are laid in the same bed as him as a trio, and it just feels so wonderful knowing that he won't wake up. And as my fingers trace the road that your spine forms up into that brain of yours, I find it's not him in the bed with us that wakes up, it's actually me that wakes up. And I'm sweating, but there's nothing urgent to be done today, so I fall back asleep. And now I am next to my one true love in my own bed, in my dreams, and as I tell her I have something important to tell her, I wake up once again. Cheers. I decided it was time for an adventure, so I stepped out of the front door and into the street in search of something, just to take my mind to another place other than my bedroom and the smell of sleep that persists in the fibres of my furniture. And that night the streets were alive, and an old man with a tambourine sang nonsense words, and the Friday night drunkards applauded him and reciprocated his gibberish with their own brand of senseless jabbering away. And everyone in the situation seemed entertained, even if the whole situation was a little idiotic to me. But it was beautiful, and I breathed deeply and laughed aloud to myself. It felt good, so I bought a novel to add to the pile of books that I'm not going to read yet, because I'm just having trouble relating to writers at the moment, but the thought's there, so I collect them for a rainy day. When I got home, it smelt like stale everything, and the remnants of extended sleep and the beer cans from the previous week were still in a pile next to the bin. So I sat on my dusty sofa and rolled a joint.